Guys, welcome to Pen Dentistry. Hope you are doing good. I am Dr. Aishwarya with you for easy learning and better understanding. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please go and subscribe to my channel and learn the dentistry in an easy manner.
The topic is on trauma for occlusion, TFO. When the occlusion, trauma means injury and occlusion means when both the jaw is occluding in a uniform manner, when occlusal force exceeds the adaptive capacity. Occlusal force, when you are closing your jaw, at that time there occurs a occlusal force, and when it exceeds, when the occlusal force increases beyond the limit, beyond the capacity of the tissue, at that time tissue injury results. Okay, what happens? Tissue injury happens, which is known as trauma from occlusion or also known as occlusal trauma. What are the clinical features of TFO? The clinical features is when there is a presence of hypermobility mobility of the tooth, at that time the trauma of occlusion occur. This is the most common way of trauma. Hypermobility of the tooth. When the tooth is mobile and you are occluding your tooth, at that time the trauma occur. Tenderness of the tooth while chewing or percussion. While chewing or if there is a percussion, at that time tenderness is present. Okay. At that time trauma from occlusion occur. Tooth migration. When the tooth has migrated, tooth has rotated or tooth has displaced from one mesial to distals or labial to lingual, lingual to labial, like this, at that time trauma from occlusion occur. Because of the tooth migration, the occlusion deformity occur. That's why trauma is formed there. Tenderness in muscles of mastication. If there is a presence of tenderness in the muscle of mastication, at that time the person is not able to occlude the tooth, occlude the upper and as well as lower jaw in a good manner. So at that time tenderness, because of the tenderness, the trauma occur. Chipped enamel or crown or root fracture. When there is a enamel chipping present, if the enamel of the tooth, the upper portion of the tooth has chipped off or the crown has chipped off, then there is a root fracture is present. At that time there is a trauma from occlusion occur. TMJ dysfunction. When there is a temporomandibular dysfunction is present, when your TMJ is not working properly and there is presence of any deformity, at that time trauma occur. Severe periodontal abscess. When there is a presence of periodontal abscess or the formation has takes place of the abscess or there is a segmental tear or segmental tear is present, at that time trauma from occlusion occur, because in these cases the occlusion is not proper. That's why due to the improper occlusion the trauma is occurring. That's why these are the clinical features of the trauma from occlusion. TFO. Types of TFO are depending on the onset and duration. It is divided into two types on the onset and duration and nature of the cause. In onset and duration, there is a acute and chronic TFO. What happens in acute? It occurs due to the high biting forces. If a patient is biting a hard object, at that time trauma occur. That is known as acute trauma from occlusion, or it might be caused by faulty restoration or prosthetic appliances. Okay. In chronic trauma from occlusion, it is occurring due to the tooth wear, drifting movement, extrusion of the tooth, or it is caused by the habits, parafunctional habits such as clenching and bruxism. Because of these things, the periodontium has gradually changed its shape or its function. So, chronic trauma from occlusion occur here. Depending on the nature of the cause. Primary. In primary, when the injury to the tissue is due to the excessive occlusal force applied on the tooth. When the tooth is feeling an excessive occlusal force, at that time this primary trauma from occlusion occur. It may be at the when the periodontium ligaments is normal. At that time also it occurs, this primary trauma. In secondary one, what happens when the tissue injury occur due to normal or excessive occlusal forces with a reduced support, that is the periodontium or the periodontal ligaments or the periodontal tissue in the secondary one is not supported or reduced their support. When the support is normal, at that time primary trauma of occlusion is considered, and when the support is less or it is not present, at that time secondary trauma from occlusion is said. So these were the types of the TFO depending upon the onset and duration, and the second one is depending upon the nature of cause. Histopathological features of TFO. What happens when the injury takes place or from where the injury starts and up till where it reaches, that is told in histopathology. Here the histopathology is divided into three stages. First stage is injury, second one is repair, and third one is adaptive remodeling of the periodontium. Remodeling takes place here at the last stage. Okay, in first step, injury. When you are going to apply if this is the tooth, when you are going to apply, excessive occlusal force is applied from the occlusal view. At that time, the periodontal tissue, the tissue of the periodontium, all the periodontal tissue is going to alter. They are withstanding the force, they are resisting the force. Okay, as you are going to apply the force from the occlusal view, they maintain the stability of the tooth so that the tooth should not move from the place. Okay, when the occlusal force is applied. Here, this causes the damage of the PDL. If you are going to apply excessive force, that will going to damage the PDL, periodontal structure, as well as it is going to alter the alveolar bone. This is the alveolar bone. It is also going to alter the alveolar bone. Okay, when the horizontal force is applied, the tooth might get rotated or it tilts from the direction. When you are going to apply a horizontal force, it might be rotate or it may be get tilted. So this results in pressure and tension zone. This force causes the pressure as well as the tension zone with the marginal and apical part of the periodontium. This marginal as well as the apical part of the periodontium. So what happened now? What changes occur when you are going to apply a force, when the injury is taking place from the occlusal side? When you are going to apply a slight force, at that time the PDL widening, the PDL fibers will going to widen. Alveolar bone resorption, the resorption of the alveolar bone going to take place. Blood vessels here increases, but the size of the blood vessels is reduced. Okay, this happens in slight force, when the force is applied slightly. When you are going to apply a great force in the tooth from the occlusal side, the compression of the PDL fibers causes hyalinization. Hyalinization I have given you in my previous videos. So you can go and watch that. Compression of the fibers. Fibers is going to compress. If this is the fiber, it will going to compress like this, and there will be a occurrence of hyalinization. Okay. Injury to fibroblast and connective tissue. There will be a injury. When you are going to apply a excessive force, the injury will be taking place at the fibroblast region or at the connective tissue. Whatever the connective tissue is present around the tooth, that will going to injure. Blood vessels here break. Here you are applying excessive force. In slide floor, blood vessels was increased, was reduced. Here blood valves, the valves of the blood, they break because of the excessive force. They break. Okay. So this was the stage 1. When the injury is taking place, what changes happen? Now we are going to see the stage 2. In stage 2, here what happens? Here repair takes place. When the force is applied, force has applied in the first step. Now the body is going to repair. Here the bone which has been resolved in the stage 2, that will going to form a thin bony trabeculae. If this is the bone and it has damage from this, like this, it will going to form a thin bony trabeculae here, like this, to form a new bone. This is the attempt taking place for the repair process. Okay, so small trabeculae are made in the body and new bone is formed. This is to compensate for the lost bone. The resorption which has taken place, this is area to compensate. If the new bone is forming around this, so this is the repair process. This compensation of the lost bone, compensation of the lost bone is known as buttressing. What it is known as? Buttressing bone formation. This is known as buttressing formation, bone formation. It happens in the repair stage. And the last stage is adaptive remodeling of the periodontium. If the repair process is not up to date, if the repair process has not reached to the up to date process, and the destruction of the periodontium has taken place, at that time remodeling takes place. Remodeling is done for the maintenance of the structure of the tooth. Okay. This results in, when the remodeling takes place in this last step, here the thickening of the PDL. The PDL fibers will going to thicken. They are going to be thick. The defect in angular bone will going to take place. Here the vascularization, the blood vessels or the vascularization will going to increase in the last step, and the loss of the tooth takes place if the repair has not taken place at that time. Okay, so this was the histopathological features of TFO.
Radiographic feature of TFO. Here what we can see in radiograph, PDL widening. There will be a PDL widening with thickening of lamina dura will be seen. The PDL will going to be widened and there will be a thickening of the lamina dura. Apical as well as the bifurcated area of the root. The lamina dura will be thickened at the apical region and there will be a bifurcated root
or bifurcated area of the root is seen. The angular bone loss will be seen. Interdental septum destruction. Angular bone loss as well as the interdental septum destruction will be seen, and radiolucency infurcation in vital tooth. If that is vital and there will be a radiolucency present in furcation area, root resorption, the root will be seen resorbed in the radiographic feature of TFO. Now the role of TOF in pathogenesis of periodontal diseases. What happens in periodontal disease and what is the role of TOF in periodontal disease? That is explained by Glickman with the Glickman concept and with the Wehawk concept. Now we are going to see the Glickman concept. What he has said, he has claimed, Glickman said that when the teeth are non-traumatized, at that time there is a bony suprabony pocket present and horizontal bone loss takes place when the tooth is non-traumatized, and when the tooth is traumatized they exhibit a angular bony defect. When the tooth is traumatized, angular bony defect will going to take place and infrabony pocket will be present. Infrabony pockets are present in the traumatized one, and suprabony pocket and horizontal bone loss in the normal one when the teeth is non-traumatized. He has divided the periodontal structures into two parts. What were the two parts? Zone of irrigation and zone of co-destruction. He has divided the periodontal PDL. He has divided the periodontal structures into two zones, irrigation and co-destruction. In irrigation, what is present? It includes marginal and interdental gingiva. The interdental gingiva, this part, and the marginal gingiva is present this in the irrigation region. And here the lesion is mostly caused, the periodontal disease is mostly caused due to the plaque, and inflammation spread here in the direction of the apical region. In the apical region side, the direction of the inflammation is around the apical region. And what happens? It involves the alveolar bone and the PDL fibers, and this will lead to the even bone loss. What happened here? Even bone loss of the tooth will going to take place in the irrigation. And in co-destruction, zone of co-destruction, what includes PDL, root, cementum, alveolar bone. These are coronally demarcated by transeptal and dentoalveolar collagen fibers. What happens here? Here this is the region where the seat of lesion is caused due to the trauma. When you are going to apply a trauma here, at that time the inflammation is going to spread. Here the zone of irrigation, the inflammation is from the zone of irrigation. That means from the zone of irrigation the inflammation will going to come at the down place into the PDL region, and hence what happens here? Angular bony defect. I have told you angular bony defect when there is a trauma takes place. So angular bony defect will going to take place in the co-destruction region. Co-destruction region is PDL, root, cementum, alveolar bone. These structures comes in co-destruction. So what happens here? Angular bony defect will going to be takes place, and the infrabony pockets are made in the co-destruction region. So this was the Glickman concept. Now we are going to see the Wehawk concept. Wehawk has said that the loss of periodontium was result of inflammatory lesion, that is with the subgingival plaque. He said that the angular defect here occur when the subgingival plate of one tooth has reached more apically. When it is going to reach more apical region, at that time the microbacteria here on the neighboring tooth also reaches. If the one tooth is affected, other tooth will going to affect with the subgingival plaque, and this will cause the angular defect. He has given the conclusion, the four possibilities. This is the four possibilities he has said when the tooth with gingival inflammation is expressed to trauma. Trauma from occlusion reaches to the pedial level rather than the alveolar bone. It affects mostly the pedial level rather than alveolar bone. Here what happens, bone loss is angular with infrabony pockets occur. I will be explaining the infrabony as well as the suprabony pocket in my next video. So watch that video. Bone loss will be angular with the infrabony pockets. In the second one, he has said when the environment is favored and there is a plague as well as the calculus present, at that time the inflammation will be deeper. There will be a deeper lesion present. Okay, this was the second condition. When the trauma is occurring in the supragingival region, when the supragingival region becomes subgingival during the time of the orthodontic treatment, that is, you have migrated the tooth in the edentulous region. When you are migrating this tooth, if there is a space present, edentulous region, it has tilted to like this. At that time, what happens? There will be a formation of suprabony pocket into infrabony pocket. This suprabony pocket will going to change into infrabony pocket when the TOF is present in the supragingival plaque and the tooth has migrated to the edentulous region. Supragingival will convert into suprabony pocket will going to convert into infrabony pocket. Okay, and the last conclusion was that when the mobility of the tooth has increases because of the TOF, okay, the trauma to the periodontium will going to occur. You know this, pedial fibers will going to affect. This will increases the diffusion. The plaque metabolism here will affect and this will going to increase the diffusion of the further inflammation. So this was the Bohawk concept of pathogenesis of periodontal diseases. Hope you have understood the video well. If you like the video, please subscribe and hit the bell icon for the latest upcoming videos. Please share this video to your friends and your batchmates for easy learning and better understanding. If you want to donate some amount, so go to my channel about button. From there you have a Paytm or donation link, any kind of donation if you want to do. Thank you for watching Pen Dentistry.